This is the yarn video. This is very important because the type of yarn you select determines the type of hook or knitting needle that you use. So we're going to start with the basics. What I've done is I've laid the yarns out in order of their thickness. I've put the corresponding hooks that you can work those yarns with, and I also have swatches so you can see how they work up. Here's some coins I laid out here for reference, so we'll be using those so you can see how thick and thin things are. So the first thing you need to know about yarn is every yarn has a size, and if you read the label, you turn it over, let me see, and if you see right here, they'll have a number and it looks like a little skein. That's a light yarn. It's number 3. Something else that's very important about yarn is you can see your color, the name of your color, but every yarn has a dye lot number. I believe that's what this is on here. I don't see where else it might be. When you select your yarn, you want to buy all of your yarn all at one time that you're going to need for your pattern, and need to make sure that those numbers match on all of your skeins. Otherwise it could be off very slightly on the shade. This is baby weight yarn, and just to give you an idea, that's the size of a dime right there. So it's roughly as wide as a dime. It's for baby clothes, baby blankets. Here is a close-up of how it works up in a swatch. This is double crochet, and you can see how small those stitches look. There we go. Baby weight yarn. You want to work baby weight yarn with your smaller aluminum hooks, and I'm going to have to refer to them in the American sizes that I know them as, that size E and size D. Okay, the next weight, and I don't have an open skein of this. This is sport weight yarn, and it's a little bit thicker than the baby yarn. It's more about the size of a nickel right there. And this is how it works up in a swatch. That's a terrible color. You can't see much of it right there. You see it's a little bit bigger than that baby yarn was. So that's sport weight, and a good hook size for that is size F. The most common yarn that when you walk in Walmart and see yarn is worsted weight yarn. It is size 4. This color, by the way, is raspberry, and I bought this at Michael's. It was just a gorgeous color, so it had to go home with me. And worsted weight yarn, you usually use your middle-sized hooks, and that's going to be G, H, and I. And this is how it works up in a swatch. So you can see it's the stitches are gradually getting a little bigger. The next size yarn is what they call bulky. Let's see, it was, I don't even know if it's number 5. This color was, it's called Homespun Collection from Lion Brand Yarn, number 404 Lagoon. Isn't that pretty? It has a little crinkle to it like it's been homespun. It worked up really beautiful. I don't have a swatch of bulky yarn. Bulky yarn, you will use your larger aluminum crochet hooks, size J or K. The next size up, this is almost like macrame thread. This is number 6, super bulky. And it even tells you how much your gauge is and what hook you should use there. That's really nice. This is also a Lion Brand yarn. Wool Ease, thick and quick. Look, came from Ollie's for $1.99. Sometimes you can look up and find yarn marked down like that. Michael's usually has a good deal on marked down yarn. And this is how super bulky works up. See how big those stitches are getting? And you're going to want to use That's a size N. That actually has a millimeter on there. It's 9mm hook for that super bulky. These are what they call specialty yarns. This yarn here is kind of like an eyelash yarn, but you make dish scrubbies with them or exfoliating things. I used to do that. I need to find those. This is actual eyelash yarn because it looks like an eyelash. And you can make, like there's a scarf that you can make, or you can hold this with a worsted weight and it just comes out looking really pretty. This is actually a bulky yarn, size 5, but you're not going to use a bulky hook for it. This is crochet cotton thread. It comes 2 different ways. They have, most of it you see is going to be mercerized cotton, which means it's been treated and it has a sheen to it, or the unmercerized, which is just straight up raw cotton. And I've used both. I do like the mercerized better because it seems to hold together. And you're going to make doilies and crocheted lace with that, and you're going to use steel crochet hooks. Usually this is a size 10 crochet thread, and the higher the number of the thread, the smaller the thread. So they have a size 20 and a size 30. And it literally looks like sewing thread, like you sew your clothes together. And you'd use this, I don't even think you can see that on film, teeny tiny crochet hook. I think that's a size 10. So you better have some eyes when you're doing that. But I love making lace. That's the first thing I ever made when I started crocheting. So there's an overview about yarn. I hope that cleared things up for you a little bit. And hopefully in the next video we can start doing some chains. Yay! Thank you guys.